Hey Eagles fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into the Eagles Report, and today, let's go ahead and put a grade and recap the Eagles' 22-14 win at Lincoln Financial Field today over the Chicago Bears. Before we do, though, I mentioned in the last video that I would give a shout out to anyone who commented down below what the score would be, and I looked and no one guessed 22-14, which I understand because it was kind of an odd score line. You had the missed extra point, so no shout outs, but let's do this. Go down below, comment who should get the game ball for the Eagles win today against the Bears, and then whoever gets the most thumbs up on their comments, so you put a player down, DeSean Jackson didn't play, or put Carson Wentz or Jordan Howard, whoever gets the most thumbs up on their comment, I will give a shout out to start next week's video, or really not next week's video, the next video we do this week. Overall, let's jump into the grades. We'll do overall offense, defense, and let's go and grade some individual players as well. Starting with the offense, what grade do we give them? A C+. And I gave him a C+ because I thought it was going to be a lot better, but what happened in the second half was a little bit concerning. Now, did the Eagles play well enough on offense to win? Sure. But Carson Wentz has no help throwing the football, and it showed again today. As Alshon Jeffery struggled today, Matt Collins was basically invisible. DeSean Jackson played like a snap. He's injured again, which is a whole different story. They ran the ball well, yes, 146 yards on the ground, but they got away from it in the third quarter, and they tried to throw the ball to get first downs and move the chains, and it was like 3 or 4 straight 3-and-outs against a good Bears defense, but it still is like, man, when are we going to put together 4 straight good quarters of offensive football in Philadelphia? Have we seen it yet so far this year? Buffalo, maybe, but it's like they run the ball well, and then they go away from the run. And then they throw the ball to do Zach Ertz really well, and then they try to get to Alshon or Nelson Aguilar, and they drop it. Drops are a massive problem. And moving the football consistently for 4 quarters continues to be a problem for Philadelphia. Yes, they had 373 total yards. Yes, Carson Wentz played well. But you get into the red zone, you need to start scoring touchdowns instead of kicking field goals 2 for 4 in the red zone. My grade is probably a little bit harsh, but I'm just tired of the Eagles, playing well for 2.5 quarters or playing well for 3 quarters. The defense played great almost the entire day. I think the offense could have scored a lot more. They got to figure out a way to get a vertical passing game because it has been basically non-existent. So I'll give them a C+, a little bit harsh, but they did enough to win, so give them credit where credit is due. What grade would you guys give the offense overall? What do you think? Type offense down below with your letter grade. Do you think it was better than a C+, worse than a C+? Either way, let me know the grade and let me know why in the comments down below. All right, defensive grade, much better. B+ for the defense. Now, Chicago did not have a first down in the entire first half. Incredible job by the Eagles defense. Avonte Maddox, who we're going to talk about later, coming back in and solidifying the slot cornerback position is a much bigger deal than people realize. Sidney Jones was a liability in the slot. The fact that you have, obviously, Jalen Mills and Darby healthy, you have the 2 safeties in Jenkins and McLeod, but getting Avonte Maddox back shows that when all 5 of the normal starters are in there, like they were today for the first time all year, the Eagles secondary can play well. Now, we have to also acknowledge this is Mitch Trubisky. This is the Bears. The Bears are not a juggernaut offense. That's why they're 3-5. So, we take it with a grain of salt, but the run defense was really special today. Chicago only had 62 yards rushing. They were obviously great in the first half. Chicago got a couple of long touchdown runs and a couple of deep passes, but overall, this was the best defensive performance, maybe besides Buffalo, that we've seen so far this year. And I'm telling you, they're starting to click. Tim Jernigan came back. He was a big deal in this game. Didn't really have a lot of stats, but played well. Jannard Avery actually got a sack. He looked like he was flying around the football. The secondary's better. Once Nigel Bradham comes back, the middle linebacker, the Eagles is going to be fully healthy. I think it's going to be a lot better Eagle defense than we've seen the past couple of weeks. So a B+ overall. Couple of dumb drives, some dumb penalties that you didn't like from the Eagles, but overall, a great day for the Eagles defense. They get a B+. Give me the grade. What do you guys think? Comment down below. What grade would you guys give the Eagles defense? Before we get into the individual grades, we'll start with Carson Wentz. If you've not subscribed to the channel yet, I would greatly appreciate it. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers over the next couple of weeks. That way I can produce more content here on the Eagles Report. So I appreciate that we've went 580 in a week. Let's keep on growing. Hit the red subscribe button. It's free. It takes nothing. Like the Eagles, we're building the best Eagles channel here on YouTube. Please go ahead and give me a subscribe. All right, Carson Wentz, individual grade. Well, good, but not great. He gets a B-. Listen, nothing special today from Carson Wentz, but played well enough to win the game. And listen, he's getting 0 help. 0 help. The O-line played better, but still allowed 4 sacks. They ran the ball really, really well, which is helping, but they get away from the running game way too often, and they throw some really weird plays, like the tunnel screen to Miles Sanders in the red zone on 3rd down didn't make any sense, and then Alshon Jeffery It's dropping every single pass thrown to him. A couple of those 3-and-out drives we talked about earlier where the Eagles got off the field way too quickly could have been extended if Alshon just catches the football. We're paying Alshon Jeffery too much to make drops. They're not helping out Carson Wentz. I'm telling you, if he had a real #1 wide receiver, and I think he should be getting the ball to Ertz more, but that's a whole different story. If he had a real #1 wide receiver, I think the Eagles team would be a lot different on offense. Again, Wentz played well, 222 yards in the air, 1 touchdown, no picks, 91.4 quarterback rating. It was good, but it's not the elite Carson Wentz that we've come to know and love here in Philadelphia. Again, good enough to play, though. B- is absolutely fine. Speaking of Alshon Jeffery, good lord, let's grade him. How about a D+? We're paying Alshon Jeffery too much, guys. I mean, Matt Collins is non-existent. Matt Collins is a complete waste out on the field because he doesn't catch passes. Nelson Aguilar is the scariest receiver in the league in terms of, is he going to drop the ball or fumble? I don't trust him at all. Besides Ertz and Goddard, Wentz should have Alshon Jeffery, but Alshon has been bad. Let's be honest. We're paying him like he's a top 15 wide receiver. He's not even playing like a top 30 wide receiver in the NFL right now. I will put out something right now, which you guys can comment about down below. I think we need to at least take a look at Antonio Brown. At least. And I know that he's a cancer in the locker room and probably would blow up the culture and all this kind of stuff. If you could get Antonio Brown to come in and be a minimal distraction, he would, oh my goodness, he'd help the offense so much. I'm not saying we should, but we got to do something. And we didn't do any of the trade deadline, and DeSean Jackson's hurt again, but Alshon Jeffery has got to pick up the pace and play better because he is really struggling, and he's making Wentz look worse than he actually is because he's dropping a lot of wide-open passes. 4 catches, 36 yards on 8 targets, a rough day for Alshon Jeffery. He gets a D+. All right, who's the best receiver on the Eagles right now? Is it Miles Sanders? I mean, is it Zach Ertz? Is it Goddard? Who is it? Who's the best wide receiver in the Eagles? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, 2 other players here. Jordan Howard, been great. A-, really proud of him for showing up against his former team. 82 yards on 19 carries and a touchdown. The Eagles have finally figured out that running in between the tackles, like in the middle, A-gap, B-gap, from I formation, or really just single back formation, is how they should run the ball. I'm so tired of these outside zone reads where they're trying to get Jordan Howard around the right side of the line, run him up the middle. You're getting 5 yards a carry, it feels like. He had 4.3 today. They figured it out, though, at least, and they're giving him more carries than Miles Sanders, but it's refreshing to finally see that Doug Peterson and the offense are going to Jordan Howard. The more Jordan Howard we get, the better off the Eagles are. Hopefully he's able to continue this streak in 2 weeks against the New England Patriots. All right, final grade here. 1 defensive grade. I thought because the defense played overall pretty well. We already talked about him, Avonte Maddox. A- for Avonte Maddox. I'm telling you guys, he's a massive part of the reason the Eagles secondary was good today and will be going forward. The flashes we saw in the New Orleans game were great, but he thrives in the slot, and he really is a massive improvement over Sidney Jones, who, I'm telling you, oh my goodness, Sidney Jones got burned so much in the slot, he made all the other secondary players look bad. Avonte Maddox played great. And really, the only bad play I can remember is that David Montgomery had that, I think it's a seam route for 20 yards. I think Maddox was primary in coverage. It might have been Jerry. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Maddox. But overall, he had some great pass breakups, some good tackles. Avonte Maddox played great. All right, finally, final question. Give me an overall grade for the Eagles. What do you guys think? Give me the overall grade on the Eagles' performance today. Let me know in the comments down below. And, of course, subscribe. Plenty of Eagle videos planned for this week, so you'll be the first one to be notified when those come out. All the time we have for today, then the Eagles report grading the Eagles' 22-14 win over the Bears. Appreciate you guys joining in. Enjoy the rest of your day.